Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, Judge Judy has her day in court.
I'm telling you now.
Find out if that judge thinks Judy gets paid a little too much. Then we are giving you a masterclass on picking the best sparkling wine from the one and only wine diva, Leslie Miller. And the end is near for The Bachelorette, and that means the drama is in overdrive. Producer Ted will have a recap. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, Carlton. Good morning, Elk River. Good morning, Clearwater. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please welcome back to the show my sidekick sister from another mister and Service Merchandise's Employee of the Month, Kendall Mark, everyone.
Service merchandise.
It's another old store.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Why, thank you.
Your shoes, let me begin with this. Your shoes looks like the shoes that on Dateline NBC the wife wears right before she kills the husband and dumps his body in the woods.
And then you go, how'd she keep her shoes so clean?
Exactly. Those are do not mess with me shoes.
Why, thank you.
You're scaring me a little bit. We're going to get a shot here. Steve will get a shot. They're beautiful.
Thanks.
But you're scaring the bejeebies out of me today.
I'm happy to do that for you. It's my husband's birthday, though, so I won't kill him today.
Oh, wow. Did you have to put the comma and then today?
Today.
Happy birthday, Jordan. I'm taking care of you on Thursday. Yeah. He's a Leo, too.
He's a Leo. I have a thing with Leos, apparently. Someone else is a Leo.
Taking care of, like, you know, someone else is a Leo, too.
That'd be him.
Yeah.
Over there.
It's birthday week. I'm celebrating my last few days of 46.
And then 47.
Okay, I didn't need the deep voice with the 47. I'm already.
I like numbers that end in 7.
You do?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Very lucky for me. So this is going to be a good year for you because we're together, so it'll rub off on you.
Okay. The early 40s I didn't care for. I've told you that. Oprah lied to me. It's the only time Oprah Winfrey ever lied to me is when she told me the 40s are great. I didn't like the 40s, but the late 40s have been good, have been decent.
We're going up.
So I'm excited eventually. I don't want it right now, but I'm excited about the 50s. The 50s.
Wow, I'm happy for you. I think people get really unnecessarily intimidated by the number 50.
No, you know why? It all changed when I saw Rob Lowe on the cover of Vanity Fair surfing. Now look, I ain't Rob Lowe. I shan't ever be Rob Lowe. But he was shirtless holding a surfboard, so I'm going to do that before I'm 50. I'm going to pose, I'm going to recreate Rob Lowe's Vanity Fair cover before I'm 50.
But you don't want to surf, because I could work on that as a shoot.
Well, no, why did I give you ideas? But no, I'm going to recreate that. I'll hold a surfboard and I'll be shirtless. A fully shirtless photo I've never done in my life.
Eric, start planning things.
Yeah, well, we have 3 years, and who knows if this will still be on. But I mean, Mary and Mim Davey, who knows what she's going to do, our new boss. Up in the tower. She's like a Vita. Don't cry for me, KMSP. Yes. That's Mim.
I'll always love you.
That's all. Well, hopefully. Well, I'm glad you're back. Thanks to Shane for filling in yesterday. It was great to see her.
Yep.
We're planning something with the children again. I'm going to watch her kids again. The one time I watched them, I left them. They ran away.
Are we filming this?
Yeah, we're filming it, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, hello, TV show. Got to fill an hour every day.
Hello.
Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Steve. Oh, I need to do a little light. Don't want to scare Grandma. We're a little more than a month away from the 47th season of Saturday Night Live. And Lorne Michaels is trying to shore up some of the veteran cast members for the new season. In the finale, some of the show's most well-known stars kind of, sort of appeared to say bye. Look.
This was the year we realized we're more than just a cast. We're a family.
And like a true family,
we are kind of sick of each other, and we need a little break.
So we'll see everybody, fingers crossed, at Thanksgiving.
Thank you for staying with us through an election, an insurrection, and an objection that there was an insurrection. And as someone who played Rudy Giuliani and
According to Variety, Lorne Michaels is working to convince folks like Cecily Strong, Edie Bryant, and Kate McKinnon to stick around for one more season. Last year, NBC allowed Cecily, Edie, and Keenan to work on other projects while remaining as cast members. It may seem late in the summer to finalize this year's roster, but according to folks, this is pretty typical. Yeah, if I'm Lauren, I would do whatever I can to make it a welcoming environment for those folks. And if that means they don't appear in every episode, you know what I mean? Or they have a reduced role.
Right.
You know, because they all, you know, Cecily's in that Schmigadoon, the Apple TV show, by the way. I interviewed the Kristen Chenoweth interview will air tomorrow about her role in Schmigadoon. But anyway, Cecily did that show. Keenan has a variety of projects. Smart of Lauren to do that.
Right, and Keenan said he's been like, I want to stay for 20 seasons. I think this was 18, was this last one. But to lose all three of those ladies at the same time would be, I would think, pretty detrimental to the show, because they're the people that you watch in the skit, and you're like, oh, so-and-so's in that skit. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be funny.
Absolutely.
You know?
Next in the dish, The Bachelorette will stick with co-host Caitlin. Now, why do we need two people? And Tayshia for next season. The former contestants will continue in the role left by Chris Harrison. They received mixed reviews so far. Our insiders think Tayshia's good, but unclear why Caitlin is involved.
Insiders.
Our insiders. Now, who the hell is that?
It's the head of Bachelor Nation.
We have three people and a very small llama that work on the show, and we have Bachelor insiders.
Yeah, that'd be Ted.
Yeah. Now, especially when the job involves saying like 2 lines every show. Why do we need 2 people? The next season, starring Michelle Young, will debut in the fall. Here's my thing, and I know you said this in our meeting, and I agree. And I know it seems self-serving because I have this job, but why don't we get people to host shows that can host a show?
Right.
Just don't pull, I mean, it does take a little bit of effort, people. Yeah. I mean, my point is, why? I mean, a little bit. I mean, this is very little effort. Just ask the crew, especially this week. But it takes some skill. Right. You know what I mean? And and we don't need 2 people. If you have like 1 line, just give it to 1 person. Hello, 2 words. Brian Dunkelman. Go ahead.
Who's Brian Dunkelman?
Exactly my point. You just proved my point.
No, I just think a really good host.
Good timing on that one, by the way.
Thank you. A really good host stands out. You're like, oh, I remember them. They were great, but they let the lead take the lead, right? And when you've got these 2 former leads trying to host, they can't help it. Inevitably, they're sort of the stars of the show, too. And then you're like, wait, whose season am I watching? What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's just confusing.
Too confusing. Next in the dish, speaking of mainline talent, Judge Judy gets paid a lot of money, $47 million to be exact. And while it seems excessive to everyone in this room, an appeals court says it's not actually. The talent agency originally behind the show is entitled to 5% of the show's profits forever. And they alleged Judge Judy's salary was siphoning off profits that should have gone to them. They argued David Letterman and Jay Leno never made more than $28 million per year, and anything above that was a profit payout. In her defense, Judge Judy argued CBS had no choice but to pay her $47 million or else she'd produce the show herself. In the end, the appeals court agreed with Judge Judy. Numbers schmumbers. Here's what I want to say. If a giant corporation like CBS is making money off your likeness and your talent, and they're making, and you look at that money that they're pulling in, and if you take a good portion of that, you should. You should. It's you. Judge Judy, without Judge Judy, they don't have a show. Now, everybody's replaceable in this business. Everybody. I don't care if your name is on the floor. That could be turned to Alexander by the end of the day. But my point is, with Judge Judy, she's not replaceable. If you remove Judy, you don't have a show.
Right. And they've had all these different judge spin-off shows on other networks too, and none of them is even close to as famous as what she is.
No. So she's making, if CBS is making $500 million a year, and I'm throwing that number arbitrarily out, $500 million a year, if I'm Judy, give me some of that money. I better see like $100 to $200 million of that money because you're making it off this mug.
Right.
This
mug.
And for the record, this station makes about $22 off this mug. About 22. Thank you. I didn't really need an applause for that one.
It's daily though, so.
Daily.
Yeah.
So 22 times 365. What is that?
It's good.
There's a reason we do television and not math, and we just showed you why right there. I'll do the math. Is anyone doing the 22 times 365?
Well, 2, 6, I don't know, like $7 grand.
Whatever. Nobody.
8, 9.
Oh my goodness. There's literally 5 people in here, and no one can do that
I said around
math.
$7 grand, right?
I don't know. We'll figure out. Stay right there. We'll be back right after these words with more math. The hot dish isn't done. Next, wait till you hear what Dolly Parton did with the profits from I Will Always Love You. Let's just say we will always love Dolly. Then, sparkling wines are all the rage this summer, but how do you pick the right one for you or your guests? The mistress of Merlot, Leslie Miller, has her masterclass. Roll it, Leo. And from reluctant viewers to new ideas for fish out of water, y'all have a lot to say this week, so we are opening up the Jason Show mailbag. That and more when we come back.
Thank you, fencing, for being the perfect sport for beekeepers who have always wanted to say, "You killed my father, now prepare to die." Thank you, synchronized swimming, for basically being underwater TikTok. Thank you, race walking, for being the Olympic sport that looks like all of the competitors just drank too much cold brew and are looking for the nearest bathroom. Not now, not now.
Welcome back. Jimmy Fallon doing thank you notes during the Olympics. If you don't know, he's doing like little 5-minute shows for YouTube and their streaming service, Peacock.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of them?
The 5-minute shows? No, I've been watching the Olympics.
Oh, good. That's right. You're our official Summer Games. You can't say Olympics. We'll get sued.
Oh, sorry.
But
Summer Games. The Tokyo Games.
That's right. Can I give you an unpopular opinion?
No.
Okay, I'm going to anyway. I don't love thank you notes. It's a bit that I don't think is very funny.
I thought you were going to say you don't love the Olympics, and I was like going to have a problem.
Well, I'm actually not a big Olympics watcher either. But you knew this, their killer heels. I do. That's why I have you. That's why.
Jason, it just hurts my feelings because it's this moment where as a world we come together and we compete in sports.
Oh, girl, we ain't coming together. The Olympics aren't even bringing people together. Are you kidding me? We're fighting about the Olympics. No, I love the Olympians. You know what? Because I'm smart enough to know I'm not critiquing anybody. Because I'm sitting on my couch while they're training for 80 years. I know better to keep my mouth shut.
You know,
they're amazing.
I've thought about this. Me and my friends have talked about this, putting people who have like the average Joe and giving them the easiest thing to do in every Olympic sport and just watching them try to do it.
That's
like
great.
Step on the beam.
Now that's a bit that we should do here.
He's so funny.
Next in the dish, Duran Duran. When was the last time we talked about Duran Duran on the show? Was on with Andy Cohen last night. The group almost collaborated with the king of pop. Yeah, talk about learning a fun fact, but they turned him down. Look at this.
So we go home after a tour. It must have been about like 1983, I think. And I get home, and the phone rings, and my mum says, "Oh, there's somebody on the phone for you." He says his name's Michael Jackson. And I said, "Oh, okay, let me go." And I thought it was one of our crew winding me up because they said, "Oh, Michael wants to do a song with you." Anyway, I start talking to the person on the phone and saying, "So, Michael, how are you doing?" "Oh, hi, I'm fine." You know, and so it goes.
Mickey Mouse.
It keeps going on like this, and then I started to worry after about a minute. I thought, oh my God, it is Michael Jackson, isn't it? And so, yeah, he was keen to make a record. And I go the next day to everyone. It's when we got the Reflex out. And I go to everyone and say, hey, Michael Jackson called last night. Do you fancy maybe doing a song with him? And they all went, nah.
No!
Wow. Can you, anyway, if you, for the youngins, a little edge, Duran Duran was like, I don't know, One Direction. I mean, they're on posters, they're in people's teenagers' lockers. Do teenagers still put stuff in their locker? Do they decorate lockers still?
I think I did in middle school, but I did not in high school, which leads me to believe they do not anymore.
Okay. Anyway, they were everywhere. And then Michael Jackson was huge. So the fact that Duran Duran turned down MJ it's crazy talk.
Right. I was looking at people that Michael Jackson had worked with, and I was just amazed that they'd done that. Until you explained that to me, I was like, oh, makes a little more sense.
Yeah. You know who he worked with that they didn't quite get along? Paul McCartney.
I saw that. Yeah. That he did.
Say. Remember that video? They're in the back of like a hayride or something. Yeah. It wasn't a hayride though. It was a medieval village. I don't know. It's been a long time. I was a child in the 80s. They've been together, by the way, since the 70s. Next in the dish. Dolly Parton gets better and better every day, doesn't she? The singer is revealing what she's done with the royalties that she earned from the song I Will Always Love You, because if you don't know, she wrote it, which was sung by Whitney Houston, made hugely popular in the Bodyguard soundtrack. Another clip from Andy. She told Andy where that money went. Listen to this.
What is the best thing that you bought or invested in with money from your I Will Always Love You royalties?
Well, that's a good question. I bought my big office complex down in Nashville, and so I thought, well, this is a wonderful place to be. I bought a property down in what was the black area of town, and it was mostly just black families and people that lived around there, and it was just off the beaten path from 16th Avenue, and I thought, well, I am going to buy this place. It was a whole strip mall, and I thought this is the perfect place for me to be, considering it was Whitney, and so I just thought this was great. I'm just going to be down here with her people, who are my people as well, and so I just love the fact that I spent that money on a complex, and I think this is the house that Whitney built.
I love it. Putting the money back in the community. She reportedly earned $10 million from that song just in the 90s.
In the 90s only. That's what's so crazy about it.
Yeah, in the 90s. And people always go, oh, were you jealous of Whitney singing it? And Dolly's answer always has been, no. They got along despite rumors. Again, people love to see, two women, God forbid, get along. They actually didn't feud. They got along, and Whitney respected Dolly. And Dolly's like, why do I care? Hello, when I look at my bank account, thank you, Whitney.
Right. Right, and she went on to say, too, when people were like, do you ever wish you could have sang with her? She said, well, yeah, of course, it would have been wonderful, but she would have just sang me under the table.
Yeah, God, they're all good. The Linda Ronstadt version is great. The Dolly version is great. Written for Porter Wagner, about Porter Wagner, and then Whitney's. Oh,
so good.
That song. We miss you, Whitney. Stupid hologram. Next in the dish, sad news for one of the frontrunners on the current season of America's Got Talent. Jane, who performs as Night Bride, was given the golden buzzer a few weeks ago. We showed you the clip at that point. She sang despite cancer being in her lungs, spine, and liver. Yesterday on Instagram, she announced her health has worsened. And she's got to pull out of the competition. She says she's pretty beat up, but is still planning her future, not her legacy. I like that. And hopes to be better soon. And boy, we do too. I like that. Plan her future, not her legacy.
Well, and she genuinely, it wasn't just, oh, you have cancer and you're doing this, that's great, we'll give you a ticket, and then, like, she was genuinely and is a really good singer.
Yeah, it wasn't, we said it at the time,
yeah.
It wasn't like, oh,
a pity thing.
A pity thing. No, she was genuinely great, and I loved that. Right,
and had a really just good outlook on life and positivity that, you see that and it's infectious.
Yeah, again, legacy, or my future, not my legacy. That's a good line. Next in the dish. Ish, Matt Damon is doing some damage control this morning. In a recent interview, he admitted he stopped using a homophobic slur a few months ago, you know, the F word, after his daughter educated him on how, well, dangerous it was. That alarmed some folks who didn't understand how it took Matt so long to realize it's not a great word, it's a bad word. He later clarified, though, that he's never called anyone the word and doesn't use slurs of any kind. I wanted to do this story because, you know, I say all the time, I don't subscribe 100% to cancel culture. It sometimes drives me nuts. And I'm speaking about this story as a gay dude, that sometimes, you know, we are a community that deserves to be recognized and we want acceptance. I don't say tolerate, if you notice. You tolerate a rock in your shoe. That's why I hate, it's tolerance. No, you tolerate a rock in your shoe. As a human being, we should be accepted. But anyway, we want acceptance. Well, if we're going to accept, we want acceptance, we also have to give it back. And we also have to, if we want grace, we have to give grace. And I also talk about intention a lot. You know, when I do these stories and I render a judgment on a pop culture story or figure, I talk about intention. And that's why I'm seeing a lot of people going, oh, I'm going to burn all, you know, people are up on their haunches, ready to burn their DVDs of Good Will Hunting. I ain't going to do that. Because I truly believe that Matt Damon, at his core, is not homophobic. And I don't like this immediate throwing people into the garbage disposal, because what about forgiveness? If we want acceptance, we also have to allow space for forgiveness and for people to make mistakes. I have said this publicly. This isn't anything new or revelatory or something to, you know, cause a scandal. People use words and then they are educated. When you know better, you do better. I used to use, when I was younger, the R word. And I was educated that, hello, that's not funny. You know, oh, you're so stupid, you're R. Our loyal friend Jace, who watches us every day, educated me several years ago on certain terminology with the Native American community, and I'm eternally grateful. My point in saying all of this, we don't usually get this deep, is you gotta give room for people to make a mistake. And you gotta have room for forgiveness. If we want acceptance, we have to be able to offer forgiveness. Matt Damon at his core is not a bad guy. Right. So me personally, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, I don't think he's walking around calling our folks Fs. I don't. I think he used it. He's from Boston. I know people in Indiana that used, you know, like commas. You know, they're not bad people. They just don't know better. Now Matt knows better and he can do better.
And he didn't have to say anything. He could have just known that he did this and kept it to himself. So it's not like it ever really totally came out that he was using this word a lot. He chose to say, hey, I actually used to say this a lot. My daughter educated me. Now I don't. So maybe everyone else could learn too. Yeah. You know?
Now, another similar story is DaBaby. You know, DaBaby's apologizing. Now, again, I think all of these cases, I don't like the blanket, we're done with them, let's go. No, look at each of these cases individually. DaBaby is a separate thing. He used homophobic language. His apology wasn't great. His apology got better, though, when festivals started pulling him from the lineup. That's an alarm for me. So I'm a little less, you know, so my point in all this is, look at individual cases. Think of intent. Think of why they're really apologizing, you know, and what's really in their heart. I'm as a gay, I don't know why I said it like that, like a little elf. Hi.
Hello.
I'm still going to watch Matt Damon, and I accept his apology. Because we've all apologized. We've all done dumb things. I did dumb things yesterday.
Right.
I'll give you a list later. Jeff has the list, actually. We'll just put it on our website. We're going to take a break, dear friends. Go get another cup of coffee, some Sanka, a milkshake, some Cheerios, a Pop-Tart, and meet me back here in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Oh, she's already pouring. That's a good sign of a segment. That's a sign of a good segment. This summer has been a hot one. I don't need to tell you that, and we all need something extra to freshen things up. Joining us with her favorite sparkling wines is the wine diva. Please welcome back to our studio the one and only, the mistress of Merlot, the chanteuse of Chardonnay, Leslie Miller from Amusé Wine. Welcome back.
And in person.
And in person.
Cheers.
Cheers. I know, still a little apart, but okay. We don't have a lot of time to engage in pleasantries because we have a lot to get to.
We do.
This is your no pressure. This is your sparkling wine masterclass.
Okay, here it is.
Here we go.
Well, a couple of things to get us started. One, you can only call champagne champagne if it's from the tiny region of Champagne in northern France.
See, that again, I love when you educate us because I'm like the audience. I don't. So you can only, just because it's bubbly doesn't mean it's champagne.
That's right. So Champagne, the region, actually has that pretty much trademarked, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world, sparkling wine is called something different.
Okay.
When we wander into other parts of France, the word that they use there is cremant, C-R-E-M-A-N-T. So we're going to have a cremant today because it's from Alsace, not Champagne.
I will have a croissant with my cremant.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And then we have Prosecco, we have Cava. So all these are named after different regions, grapes, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Okay. Then there's different ways to make bubbly. This is the most traditional, ancestral way to make sparkling wine.
Okay.
This is called pétillant natural. It's shortened up by the hipsters as pet nat.
The hipsters like to shorten everything.
They do.
Yes.
So what they do here is they basically put everything into the bottle, yeast, sugars, the whole thing, while the wine is still active in eating basically its sugar during fermentation. So you have just a little crown cap. This is from Slovenia. This is a pétillant natural. You can see it's a little bit cloudy because kind of everything falls out in the process. It's not filtered, but delish.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's not overly, it's not tart.
That's
it has
right.
That's a great profile.
So let's talk about that color while we're on this subject too, because there's rosés and then there's whites of sparkling as well.
Yeah.
Rosé just means that you use the skin of a red grape in the process to literally sit in contact with the juice for a very short amount of time.
Oh, really? So that just makes it rosé, the skin.
Yes, that's right. So it's kind of like making tea.
Or flamingos eating shrimp, and the shrimp gives them the pink color.
Cha-cha-cha.
I love it. Okay.
All right, moving on. So we have Prosecco, that would be from northern Italy. We have Cava, which would actually be from Spain.
And I love you so much, and you know me so well that you did not uncork the Prosecco because you know it's too sweet for me. I do not enjoy the Prosecco.
Jace always says just skip the Prosecco.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other part to this process also, so this is Cava, and what I love about Cavas is that they're fairly inexpensive. This is Paris Balta, two female winemakers, which I always love those stories, but it's really fresh and briny because the grapes actually grew up next to the seaboard.
Oh.
So every single
legit briny.
Legit. So this is really great with things like seafood,
this one right
oysters.
Here, I just want to point to it so people know that one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Remember that every sparkling wine needs to taste like where it comes from.
Yeah.
Legitimately, right?
This is really good.
It's so yummy.
Oh,
isn't it?
this is legit.
Yes. Okay.
Too legit to quit right here.
Too legit to quit.
This is real good. Okay.
All right. So glasses, because this is important as I pour you the Cremant d'Alsace. So now we have a Cremant because it's from France, but it says Cremant d'Alsace, meaning of the region Alsace. Can't be called champagne again. I'm going to put it into a different glass and. Now remember when we almost broke the internet with our glass piece?
Yeah. Leslie changed our lives by telling us champagne flutes.
Yes.
Hooey.
Hooey, out with that. So you notice I don't even have a champagne flute here. The champagne flute, perfect, beautiful, whatever. It keeps the Ferris wheel of bubbles circulating to the top.
Steve, thank you. Hi. What is, I feel like Aaron Schwab. Hi. What glass is this?
So this is a burgundy glass that you're holding.
Okay.
And the burgundy glass is literally only made for 4 grapes. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, also Gamay, and then Nebbiolo. So Gamay and Nebbiolo don't often make sparkling. They do, But mostly you see Chardonnay and Pinot Noir in the process of making
Again,
sparkling.
shocking years later, no people thinking they should drink Chardonnay out of this when you've been drinking them out of the small.
That's right.
That's crazy. Okay.
So this is all about the mechanics of the grapes and how it ends up falling and tasting on your palate. So this is rounder because it's Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and actually a little grape from Alsace called Pinot Blanc.
That fell really nice.
Creamy, lovely, kind of like a pie crust in a way.
Sure.
Sure. And then we have, and then we also have champagne. So there's a couple of things that you're going to see on a label. One, if you see a date, so the bottle that Jason's holding actually has a date on it, 2008. Vintage champagne, remember every single time that you see a year on a bottle of champagne, that means that you're going to pay more dollars. Vintage champagne can only be from one particular year, and it's not always touted as saying, hey, we're going to make you usually see non-vintage NV, meaning that it's a combination of years put together to make these wines. These are all NV, non-vintage.
Oh.
So there's vintage and non-vintage, and vintage means that they're declaring this was the best year for making wine in this region.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
So if you see a date, you got good stuff.
You're also paying more,
Okay,
right?
that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
more. Okay, and then there's the aspect of
How much is this?
that bottle's a little bit more. It's around the $300 mark.
Oh my goodness!
Sorry, but I wanted to bring something bougie because.
Who do you think these people are?
It's just.
The Hiltons?
I just want you to remember that this is also be a card, so this is at the top end of the scale. I know it's unique, it's rare.
Hello, one percenters.
Yeah, let's just do this for this one. Yeah, okay. And then there's different styles for making bubbly as well. This is Chocolatino, which I love. This is just a really fresh.
This from the Dollar General collection?
This is a dollar store, wine store. This is northern Spain. Now you see this in Vino Verde, northern Spain. This is a little wine called Chocolatino. Here what they're doing is they're bottling the wine very, very fresh. You notice that it has a screw cap to it. It has some sparkle and fizz to it because it's just bottled really young and fresh. So you can do it in that sense too.
And finally?
I brought you the non-alcoholic sparkling Chardonnay.
We hear from people want a non-alcoholic version.
Yes, and this is so fun because it is, we've talked about this wine in the past, but I just really wanted you to try it.
Yeah.
It is 100% Chardonnay. It is from France. It's delicious. There's nothing added to this. It's literally just straight Chardonnay grapes with zero alcohol to it.
Really good.
Different things.
It's delicious, actually.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's probably one of the best non-alcoholic that I've drank.
By far.
What is this, 450? What are we talking about on this bottle? 450, 500? What are we talking here?
It's around like the $17 mark because it still
perfect.
comes from small
Now we're talking.
producers. All right.
Small producers always, right,
Yes,
Leslie?
exactly.
That's right. Give it up
Masterclass.
for the Chanteuse of Chardonnay, Leslie Miller, with her masterclass on sparkling wine. For more, head to Amuse Wine. See? You're back, and I can't pronounce it again. .com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Cheers. That non-alcoholic. That is real good.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day.
Welcome back.
No matter what they say.
By the way, those are the guys, our dear friends from Yam House. We want to say congratulations to the guys. They are going on tour. They're doing a nationwide tour, and I'm so proud of them. Go to their socials for more information and dates. Good for them.
Yeah, awesome. I think they're at the State Fair too, right? The Liney's Lodge?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's time to open up the Jason Show mailbag. Open it up, Steve.
You've got mail.
That's right. First up, a message from Lisa. Hello, Lisa. She says, I try to watch you every morning. I'm a nurse, and you have helped me laugh this past year, so I greatly appreciate you. I was watching Friday and saw the info about the Prince. I decided to binge it Friday night, watched the entire season. It is hilarious. Yes, if you haven't watched it, it is so good. It's not for everybody. If you're uptight or don't like cuss words, don't watch it. But it's really funny. If you like poking fun, the Royals can take a few notches. Let's just say that. Yeah, it's good. Next is Gary. Hi, Gary. He says, I gotta admit, I really enjoy your show. Thanks, Gary. I've been watching it for a couple months, but I really like it. Hello from Duluth, and keep up the good work. These are always my favorite ones, especially if I'm being very honest, from dudes. And I know you get the same thing, friends of Jordan or whatever, when almost are like afraid to tell me or they're reluctant to say, and this usually happens to me up in Princeton or Cambridge when I'm at the pipe. Hey, hi, I like your show. And it's like they're ashamed to admit it.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Mandy is next, and she has an idea for us. Hey, Jason, you like Matthew McConaughey need to record a bedtime story on Calm, the app, and read my bleep to sleep. I didn't know. Could I do that?
I don't think, can anyone just do it?
I don't know. No, not everyone can do it.
But they could pay you.
Yeah, I could. I'll read a little bedtime story.
We could start a petition.
I'll do what? No bedtimes? I'll do it in my Hannibal Lecter voice. Yeah. Hello, Denise.
Why would you do that?
Have the lambs stopped screaming in Coon Rapids? Have the lambs stopped screaming, Denise? Next, a lot of reaction to my first attempt at golfing on yesterday's show. I hit up Braemar and Edina with Kendall, director Leo, and look at Kendall with her little golf outfit. How much did I love your outfit, Kendall?
I walked into the studio after I'd changed and you were like, look at your outfit.
I know. It was like Happy Gilmore Kendall. Dennis says, Jason, always remember, no matter how bad you think you are, there's always someone golfing that is a worse golfer than you. A golf course pro told me that. Yeah.
I love that.
And Mars asks, why do they do this to you, Jason? Let's face it, some of us have zero athleticism. It's okay. We make up for it in several other areas.
I don't think you have zero.
No, I mean, I was decent. Out of all the sports that you've made me do, this is, I mean, I've slacklined, I've fished, you know what I mean? I've played tennis with those children. This, said it so mean, those children.
Children.
But this, I wanted to do well.
Yeah, you know, it's a hard sport to master.
I know.
I think you did great.
And really quick, you know how I know it's hard and I'm not going to get a free pass? My buddy Lisa Lacourcier is a really good golfer, and I thought after she saw the piece, she'd be like, "Oh, come on the greens with me." And she goes, "After a few more lessons, I'll take you." I was like, "Ooh, girl, I have to take a few more lessons before I can go."
But you could just sit in the cart and hang out with the bed babe.
I want to be the beverage babe. Yep. I totally do.
Yep.
This fails, I'm doing that. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this with Ted. I'll be the beverage Jason.
Your hips are. Okay, I don't want to hurt you. Don't move at the same time.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
It's just something that Canadians do. We don't have horses in Canada, we have moose in Canada.
Oh my God.
It's in the way here,
Obviously, we're not in Baltimore, but it's okay. I brought Baltimore to New Mexico. You ready?
Yeah. One of these?
You want some chicken?
Oh, yeah, I love it. Oh! Whew.
Katie's really gonna get a little bit of everything today. Baltimore has an iconic graffiti alley downtown where a lot of artists tag walls up and get inspiration.
It's beautiful.
Oh my goodness. It was fake hometown dates on The Bachelorette last night. Katie visited Canada, Baltimore, and New Jersey, all while never leaving the comforts of New Mexico. But the hometown dates took a back seat when frontrunner Greg cracked under pressure, throwing the entire season into chaos. Ooh. That means, once again, it's time for 52% of America loves Ted. And joining us now from Bachelor Nation, your poll numbers are going up, Ted.
Good.
Is producer Ted Johnson. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Okay, remind us who Greg is.
So Greg is the front runner. Greg is, he got the first impression rose on night 1, and he has kind of been Katie's ride or die this whole time. You know, she'll go on other dates with other guys, and believe it or not, he can actually catch her when she jumps in the air, as we'll see here, which is a prerequisite for her. But so he is the guy. He is the guy that basically we've been looking at this whole time.
Ted, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Have you ever had a woman on a date jump into your arms like a koala bear?
No, it wouldn't end very well. What we can do is sort of, we can kind of start here, and I can do one of those things, but that's risky.
Yeah. Okay. The hometown days, before we get anything else, was it as dumb in real time, Ted, as it seemed in that mashup clip?
Yes. The show last night was 90 minutes snooze. The first 90 minutes, just a complete snooze.
But then the fireworks started. So what happened during his hometown?
So Greg, he's all in. Greg is all in. He's saying, Katie, I love you. Katie, I love you. Well, she can't really say I love you back because it's part of the show. You know, she's got to sort of wait until the end. And he's saying, look, we've made plans beyond the show. We're going to move to New Jersey, New York, whatever. This is it. And he can't wrap his head around the idea why she's not choosing him right now. Well, we've got 2 or 3 weeks left.
Can they not afford light bulbs? What's up with the dark?
You know it's dramatic when it's silhouette.
Yeah, true. So he goes to her room, and then what happens?
So Greg, so he does this whole thing. He's freaking out in his head. So he goes to her room and tells her how he's feeling. Steve?
I even feel like right now you're giving me like a surface level response. Like I'm talking to you. I'm not asking for this stuff. Like this is real life. This isn't like how you told me, you already told my family I'm getting a rose this week. Like the rose. I don't give a about the rose. I was just telling you that you filled a hole in my heart.
Like I can't even like comprehend like what it is you're trying to say right now. Like, are you not wanting to stay anymore? Are you done?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my. So how did she react?
She's heartbroken. So he leaves, he runs out of the room. They chase each other down the stairs. She's outside begging him to come back. She is begging him to come back. And he's like, I deserve better than you. And it's like, whoa, boy. Like, I could see your point of view up until the point where he starts, like, really kind of throwing it on, like, this is your fault. This is your problem. You've wronged me. And it's like, dude, you came on the show. Like, she's got other 2 guys here. They're going to go into the fantasy suites. She's going to pick you in the end. Get over it.
Ted, can I ask you another personal question?
Sure.
Hey, have you ever had a woman chase you downstairs?
I don't think so. I did have one who stormed out and said, you didn't chase after me. And I said, they only do that in movies.
Oh my God. Kendall just responded, oh my God, Ted. Ted Johnson, everybody. And don't forget, ladies, he's still single. If you would like a date with Ted, 952-946-TED. That's right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Nope. Welcome back. She'd sit up there. I'm like, you're all prim and proper, and I got to...
Well, from back here, it's like, hi,
I know,
everybody.
yeah, they're very deep chairs. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Don't forget you can watch full episodes on YouTube. We post each day's episode along with clips from the show on the channel. Just search for The Jason Show and hit subscribe. You ready for today's question?
See.
Today's question, I already know what it is, but I'm going to act like I haven't read it before.
Okay.
What was your least favorite subject in high school? The answer when we come back. Back in a moment. What was your least favorite? All of them. Welcome back. Okay. Least favorite subject in school?
Mine was pre-calc, not because I didn't like math. I loved math, but the teacher I had probably should have retired like 10 years before he did because he just was not into it anymore. And then none of us were into it anymore. You know what I mean?
PE was mine.
Leslie Miller.
I'm
just
sorry,
left.
Leslie Miller. I didn't know something was funny from our guest, but
She's just hiding behind her wine box.
it was Leslie's first and last trip back to the studio. No, I was horrible. They had me climb that rope that they make you climb.
Did you do that in high school?
Yeah, and in junior high, and I slipped and I got burns on my
Ow. They only made you do that when we were like really little, and then I think some kid fell and got seriously maimed, and then they didn't ever have anyone do it again.
Well, this is in the 80s, and they didn't care about kids in the 80s. We had underneath our slides and swings, it was gravel. It was like in that nasty gravel underneath the monkey bars. Oh, now they have like hamster shavings and foam.
For real.
We would fall on cement.
Yeah, it's like rubber now.
Yeah, so you got lucky, kids. Tomorrow on The Jason Show, I'm excited. Wait to hear my conversation with Kristen Chenoweth about her new show, Schmigadoon, plus the moment that caused my jaw to drop. That's tomorrow. But right now, if you are a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Come on, Kendall. Let's go remove Leslie Miller from the building.